This was a day that I was trying to dedicate to getting the parts installed back on the MT09 that we had painted. I waited patiently for several days until my magnets came in stock. Did the experimenting with the magnets, and I'll go into that later on in the video. Among other things, the side of the radiators being painted now, that was one of the things I wanted to see in real life. Unfortunately, we did not get a chance to do a real photo shoot today, other than taking a few pictures inside the garage, but we will get that in the next couple days. We're dealing with the snow, really heavy snow that came in here. Not so heavy with the snow, but the temperatures being in the teens and the low 20s. It really made today a challenging day to do anything out there. But as we always do, the magic secret is drink a lot of coffee and then drink some more coffee. And don't be a baby and put your coat and gloves on and get out to the garage. And as Karen always says, get the job done. Boy, every day is different this winter. Wake up early this morning. It's in the high teens. Supposed to go to the mid-20s. Lucky me. My parts have dried up and been buffed on yesterday's video. I'm ready to install them. I'd like to try it. I got the magnets the other day. I'd like to try to install them. I'd like to work some of this day out in the garage, but here's a really good tip. Karen has a lot of errands to do. So while it's really cold, we're going to go do errands because the day's going to warm up, maybe even to the mid-20s. Who knows? You never know. And then I'll be out in the garage working on motorcycles. But in the meantime, the farm doesn't run itself. Somebody's got to chop the pond ice. Somebody's got to brew the coffee. And there's still cookies left over. I still have a few cookies to eat. The last winter I remember painting those wheels and we had a foot of snow on the ground and Joe Padula's Ducati fairings being repaired. Oh, and today reminds me of that day. This is definitely the coldest day so far this year. We got to get started. It's not fun being out here right now. So here's the deal, 23, but the real feel is 15. Anytime we have ice on a pond, and you can see our bubbler is doing a good job of keeping a hole in it. Well, I got a little reprieve, but it's supposed to stay cold pretty much for the next week. That ice will be 2 or 3 inches thick very soon. And the birds are saying extra seeds today. Extra seeds, please. And that's the secret of a day like today. Extra seeds, extra coffee. Nothing's going to melt up today, that's for sure. Definitely not going to melt up. Now we do have some errands to take care of. And it is brutal out there. Oh my God. So we're going to get some of these errands out of the way. It is just brutally cold and the wind is blowing. Seems like only yesterday all the leaves were orange. We were out riding every day. Well, that's why it's important to get a ride one, for me anyway. Anytime you can, because you never know how quick it ends here in the Northeast. Now I remember just the other day we went to Amazing Savings, bought those incredibly good fur-lined socks. I got them on today. I'm making this day very nice. I always love this. This is one of Rutherford's local artists. He has his gargoyle out in front of his house. I don't know if the neighbors really love it as much as he does, but anyway, Rutherford's a very cool town. And it's cold. Well, I thought it was going to warm up while we were out doing errands. Doesn't feel a lot warmer now. Still, we got to get it done. It'll be good to get back and have a nice cup of coffee on a day like today. The wind is already kicking up too, to add insult to injury. It's warmed up nicely, except we have ice in the driveway here. Oh, don't slip and slide. Oh my God, we need traction. I need traction control. Actually, you know something? This vehicle does have traction control. Now we're back and it's time to go to work. No, it's time to have coffee. There's something terrible in this house, an empty coffee pot when you get back from shopping. This will make the garage 10 degrees warmer in about a half an hour. Guaranteed. So it's time to go to work, and it is still not warm outside, but we're going to make the most of it. Now I have parts to install today. The first thing I'm going to do is put the radiator covers on and try to get acclimated out there and get my fingers warm and everything. And then I want to do the magnet thing. I got the magnets. I want to do the unboxing right now and see if they sent me the right magnets. Now I was looking on this package. This package, it was so long, I was waiting for this 4 extra days. It's a good thing I wasn't waiting for my heart medicine or something. Anyway, I don't know what this means, any of these things, but it finally got here. Finally, I want to unbox this and make sure these are the right magnets. Now, the truth is, I don't even know if this is going to work. This is one of my experiments that I thought might have some potential, and I may have to go to plan B. Here's my little box of magnets. Here's a surprise, made in China. Holy mackerel, who would have ever guessed it? You never open up a box that says made in Michigan or something, does it? Never. Never. Oh, it's in like a little cute little thing. 100% quality. Wow. It's even got an Amazon label on it. Wow, can you imagine? So this is what you get from Amazon. It's officially Amazon. ELEC find, I don't know what that is. But these are they're not refrigerator magnets. These are very powerful. I don't know the exact right word, neodyne or something, but they are really way more powerful than refrigerator magnets. So here we go. Look at this. You get a free sponge. Let's see what it says in here, because I'm really interested in how this is going to work. All magnets are fragile and they snap when collide into each other. If not, they will be broken if not handled correctly. Keep away from pacemakers. I feel my heart. Okay, so I know pacemaker. Maybe I can't even have these in the future. Powerful magnets can hurt your fingers. Not for children. Well, I guess I'm out of business. If damaged, please dispose of. It doesn't tell you where to dispose of it. What do? Flush it down the toilet? Oh, and you get a little, look at this. Oh my God. A little thing of the directions, how to use magnets. But here's what we're really into. Oh, you get little magnets for your refrigerator that say love. But this is what we really wanted. These are the real deal now. And I know this is going to be a problem because I've already gone through this already. You can't get them out of the pack. They're really hard to pull apart. If you only knew how. Oh, geez. Okay. We want the biggest ones. I ordered this up. Look at this. You can't even hold them. So powerful. Get in there. Like a wild, like Buddy. Okay, they go in there. This is what, look, you got to get them apart. This is what I really wanted to see when I put two of these on the bolts of the, well, we're going to find out. Now, that my objective was I'm going to take this and put this, I'll try to figure this out. There's two bolts on the motorcycle. I'm going to put the magnets in the exact place and then take that side cover piece, let me get it in fact, and take this exact piece, put some epoxy on the back, and try to attach those two magnets so they'll be in exactly the right spot. And while that epoxy is drying, I'm going to try to get it in perfect alignment. So this will be interesting to see if it works, and you never learn anything if you don't try. Now, if it doesn't work, then we go to plan B, which I'm going to have to figure out. I haven't figured out plan B yet, but these magnets, they're fun to play with, I guess. Not for children, anyway, but they are really powerful. So the first step is I want to go out there, get bundled up again, and get the electric quartz heater going out there. I want to get these put in place, get a couple of pictures for the computer, see if I like them in blue. If I don't, they can be shiny black, they can be silver. I don't know. That's the beautiful part about painting anything. You don't like it, take this paint off, and in 5 minutes it'll be back to plastic. But anyway, this was the parts we buffed out yesterday using Evercoat, the stuff we got from Dale, and it worked pretty well. To be honest, it worked pretty good. And I'm not sure which is, I'm not going to ever say this is the best polish in the world, but both 8065 and the Evercoat both work really good. First, I just want to get some pictures of this so I can compare like a before and after kind of thing. But since we've already done, and thank you, John POTHIER, for the concepts, this looks like one of the parts that I think will be pretty cut and dry. I do know these have little tabs and tangs. I have to be real careful when I put them back on. This goes around there, goes around there. This snaps in here. Ooh, that's nice. It actually snaps on you. You probably don't even need screws. Well, maybe you could use magnets. I had that idea in my mind since I saw model planes years ago holding the cowlings on with magnets. I thought that would be pretty cool. But again, it's yet to be proven. We're going to find out. We're going to find out very soon. But boy, being out here, actually it's warmed up just a little bit, but not enough. It's not Florida, that's for sure. Ray, you made the right move moving to Florida. I feel like I'm in Green Bay here. Okay. And of course, after doing any kind of work, anything even similar to this, I like to look at it from every possible angle, shoot some pictures so I can go down to my computer where it's a lot warmer, have a cup of coffee, and decide if I like it. Now, after I make any change to the bike, I always like to look at it from every angle possible, even angles you wouldn't normally see, but that, I like the way that looks. That was one of the things, and again, John did concepts of it before we painted it. I had a lot of confidence I'd like it. And the little parts under the headlights. And if the windshield doesn't come in the next couple of days, I'm going to paint this windshield, because we're running out of time here with this cold weather. Now, I've said it a million times before, to personalize a bike or make it your own or do these little custom touches. Some people don't do anything, and that's fine too, but this is part of motorcycling. I really enjoy making these little custom touches. No, I especially like how that frames the scoop, was eventually the scoops are going to get painted. That kind of really, I think that's one of the steps that completes the motorcycle. And a small detail, but it's something that I think is important. All right, time to do the other side. It's nice that they do these, that they stay in place while you're putting the screws in. But the truth is, that quartz heater just feels so good today as I'm getting ready to sock all this down and move on to the next step. Get my legs cool, get them warmed up here. I always say, I don't think Jay Leno works out in this temperature, but I'm sure somebody does. It's just not as much fun. And we're just trying to expedite putting these parts back on the bike. We can get back into the house. Okay. Relatively straightforward. I love the way it looks. It just couldn't be any better. That's really super, super nice. Yeah, I really do like the way that looks. Now, it'll be very interesting to see how it is when this piece, one of our next pieces to paint, is blue, and a windshield, which I was hoping the windshield would already be here. But again, after seeing that debacle with the magnets, I'm not so sure. Now, if there wasn't so much snow, I would have pushed the bike out of the garage to take these pictures outdoors, but it just wasn't a practical thing. Plus, where I had shoveled, it's already icy. All I need to do is drop the bike now and have to repaint it. That is a funny thing. A lot of people don't realize if you have to work in really cold weather. This is a really good tip. This is a quartz heater. A quartz heater doesn't heat the air. It heats you. So if I stand here, this air in between us is cold, but I feel warm, and I've used this for a lot of things. I want to warm this area up here. Otherwise, the epoxy is going to take forever overnight to dry. And these bolts, now they're very strange. These are steel bolts. This is apparently aluminum, I don't know. But I wanted to make sure these magnets get lined up right on that bolt. And it seems like if you look at it, there's a little tang sticking out here. So it may be what I have to do is drill a little hole in the magnet so that little tang self-centers it. I don't know yet. Again, I'm not gonna know until I try this. This is a really interesting thing. Pulling these magnets apart is unbelievably hard. I'm losing my fingernails. Now, they actually do sit right where I want them to sit, which is pretty nice. You can still move them around, that's okay. But now, the side of this, and this is a critical thing, the side of this that we're going to actually use to epoxy to, I have to roughen it up with some rough sandpaper. These are too polished and smooth. So first thing I'll do, I'll go down into the shop and let me get this quartz heater. I'm actually cooking like a roasted chicken out here. One side of me's cooking, one's freezing. And roughen that side up. I want to do one side first. Roughen it up. Roughen the part that's going in here up. And then get the 5-minute epoxy. Put a drop on each part. Then I can hold it in place. Maybe use a hairdryer or the quartz heater to warm this up so it stays in place. Okay, so using some relatively rough sandpaper, no special grit. You can see how shiny they are from when you get them. If you epoxy to that, it's going to get a good grip. This is even better. the rougher you can make one side of the magnet, the side that's getting glued to the part, it'll be so much better. And this is the epoxy we're going to use. It's aircraft quality epoxy. So when we go out to the garage, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this, because it's cold out there. I'm going to mix it in the cellar here where it's less viscous. It'll be easier to mix. And you have about a 5-minute window. Go out there, set the magnets in place, dab a little bit on each one of the magnets, and hold the piece in place. Maybe even have to use a little hairdryer or heat to kick the epoxy off, and see how this little experiment works. So the magnets are in place with the sanded side out. I got the quartz heater cooking along, trying to keep this, well, it's about in the mid-20s right now, so I'm not sure. This may take a little extra, but I brought a hairdryer out just in case. Now in this really cold weather, 5-minute epoxy becomes 15-minute epoxy. So, because I've worked with epoxy a long time, I know this is way thicker than it normally would be, and maybe that'll work to our advantage. I don't know. So we're going to find out. But I don't expect this is going to dry in 5 minutes. When epoxy gets real thick like this, they call it thixotropic. And if we were doing this in the summer, this epoxy would be like water. Well, it's not like water now. Like peanut butter. Anyway, so now the moment of truth. We've sanded this on the back. We're going to do the carbon fiber ones first. And now I've got to just hold this in place. In some way hold it in place here until it kicks off. Now even with the quartz heater out here, these parts are really almost too cold to touch. But the quartz heater is warming them up. As soon as this epoxy dries, and I left the epoxy that I mixed on the Cheerios box top just so that I could see when that epoxy kicks off, I know this will already have kicked off. Then I can peel this part back off and see if it snaps on and off the way I hope it does. Again, you don't learn something if you don't try stuff like this. And maybe it'll work. I don't know. We'll find out. Remember, epoxy cures relative to temperature, all two-part things. And because of the cold, this is still tacky. Until this is like a rock, I won't take that part off. Now the whole idea of having a black carbon fiber set and a blue set is for future evil twinning of this bike, which I'm sure is going to be part of the future, and having a blue windshield in the future and having a clear one. Well, it was just a little detail, and actually the two details we added today. I'm not sure the magnets are going to work and as time goes by, but so far they're pretty nice. It looks like it's going to work, but if it doesn't, again, we have plan B somewhere down the road, but I haven't figured out what that is yet. I really wished I could have pushed this out into the snow and taken some pictures outdoors of the whole, up to this point, the project, so we could see the side radiator covers, everything in place. I do like the way this looks in real life. I like the way it looks with the black too. So I have both sets now. I have a set of blue and a set of black, and I can snap them out relatively quickly. And in the future, we'll see if this is a practical way of doing this. So I'm glad to be in after a brutally cold day. The way this played out, the magnets seem to work. Now I think what's going to happen with these, when I go to switch them, the blue to the carbon fiber, I don't know if what's going to happen is these are going to get loose, because I don't know if these magnets are going to be strong enough. The deal will be I'll put a bead of silicone around the magnets and let the silicone bead absorb some of the vibration. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. But these are parts I want to have for the evil twinning of the bike. Now the other thing is, at some point in time, I'm waiting to see if I have enough blue paint left over, and I'm sure I will. I want to have a blue fender. I want to be able to evil twin the bike out with the carbon parts, the blue parts. I want a blue windshield, a clear windshield. That's part of motorcycling I enjoy, evil twinning out the bikes. I'll get it set up at the end of this year, but then at the end of another year, I wouldn't feel like I want to have a new bike, and maybe Karen will buy me a new bike. She did twice already, so I don't know. Maybe I ought to keep her. Good choice. Anyway, I do enjoy the evil twinning thing. I do enjoy trying these little experimental things. We'll see how they work. What's the worst that can happen? If one of them flies off and hits Luciano in the nose, what can I say? That's part of the price of motorcycling. Anyway, it's good that I have some of these spare parts, and I'm sure I have plenty of paint. It'll be fun to see how this project goes, because we are supposed to get our windshield very soon, and if we don't, I'm going to paint the one on the bike. I'm sick and tired of waiting, and I don't want to be outside in that garage working. I'd rather be down in the cellar painting. So we basically used a very, very cold day, a day that really wasn't pleasant being in the garage. And I thought, as I came back in to edit the video for the day, I thought, wow, what a great thing. I'm looking at the picture album, trying to pick up a couple of pictures to put at the end of the video. And I realized a lot of people that are maybe new to the channel don't realize what evil twinning is, or why it would be a good idea to do it. For me, in fact, is evil twinning is when you take a single motorcycle. In this case, we took the 650 Ninja and did a total restoration on it, changed the wheels, a bunch of the paint work, the gold paint, or the RD, or any of the bikes that we have multiple parts for. In this case, we have several seats, several sets of, well, I got 5 extra wheels. The R1, which was a Ferrari bike and an R1 bike. We have 6 seats for the R1. I have 2 sets of bodywork for the green bike, and the FZR, of course, which is a 900-hour evil twin restoration. The GS, which I have the West Cooley paint job for. So evil twinning to me is, well, it's relatively inexpensive relative to just buying another bike. Now, the advantage of an evil twin bike is you already rode the bike, you already know you like it, and you're bonded with it. And now to spend the amount of time, this is Luciano's Kawasaki, he evil twinned this out. It was, I don't know what color it was when he bought it. We painted a set of blue bodywork, a set of green bodywork. So for his H1, he's got 2 sets of bodywork now. And when he gets sick of the green, he can just snap on the blue. And he's got, I know he's got extra bodywork for a lot of his bikes. I don't know which ones he wants to do in the future. I know he's going to be bringing a gas tank over here in the next week or so. He wants to paint up a gas tank. But evil twinning out a bike, the good news is there's no more registrations. And the biggest thing, though, the biggest thing is you pick a bike that you like and you enjoy riding and you know it's comfortable and it suits your needs. And now to spend all that time here, I made that the seat with the luggage inside. And there's just so many things. Here's the R1 when it was a Ferrari bike. And here's where it even still had the headlights. I hadn't made that carbon fiber piece for the nose yet. The FZR, and luckily every one of these things, every one, is out on the channel. This is a 900-hour restoration. We also have Joe Padula's repair of the Ducati for people that have gouged up a fairing, especially for a collector bike. Might want to bring it back to life. I hope I've been able to legitimately pass on some useful information. But the FZR, 900 hours later, to me it was an evil twin for sure. And now, of course, the project we're working on now, the MT09 evil twin project, I'm making the parts ahead of time. And I look back here, we didn't even have the windshield on the bike yet. And in the beginning, we had the white fender, which I detested. That tail light that came with the bike, which, you know, they're all personal taste things. But when you evil twin it out, you get to pick. I made those carbon fiber parts, but I still wanted to have the option of putting on a blue windshield, which will look like bodywork, not a windshield. It'll look like a Triumph. And kind of that look. And as I look back, I think, yeah, I'm glad I'm going to be able to evil twin this. I'm going to look forward to putting the blue fender on sometimes. Those little bodywork pieces that I made today with the magnets, I can switch them from carbon to paint. That'll be a relatively easy thing. And the big one is, of course, the windshield and the radiator covers, which we did today. Here it's still got black radiator covers. I'm going to have to do a photo shoot. We haven't had any really nice sunny days where I can put the bike out in the driveway and take a... I like to take pictures, and I like to have them on my computer, not in outer space somewhere, because on a day that's this cold, boy, that cup of coffee, I could sit at the computer and look at the memories I have forever. I watched my ride videos, and we even did this test wheel, And coming up very soon as I have all the blue parts painted. I originally had this scheduled earlier, but I wanted to test the paint. The paint test worked out great, and all we're waiting for now is just a little bit better weather than we had today. Today was brutal, and tomorrow is supposed to be the same thing. So, but we do try to post something up every day. I do try not to leave out any steps for anybody that would like to do any of these similar projects for their bike. And the evil twin part of it, having 2 bikes for the price of 1 or maybe 3, there's nothing to stop you. I often think you could buy 1 RD and buy 3 or 4 sets of wheels and bodywork, and every 2 weeks have a different bike. It'd be just cool. But it's all in the eye of the beholder, and it's all what you enjoy, and it's all what the effort you're willing to put in, actually, for life itself, for any project. So if you enjoyed the video, I hope you share it with your friends. And of course, I hope, most of all, that we'll see you tomorrow. And thanks again for watching.